Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all here today. I'm going to be talking today about the Africa Scout region and what we are doing with regards to environment and sustainability. So just a brief introduction about myself. I'm Jonathan Pienaar, a WASM regional youth representative to the Africa Scout region and a Scout influencer. If you're curious about finding out about what a youth representative is, my amazing colleagues from the Global Youth Representative team held a session on Friday on what a youth representative is, and that link will be shared in the chat. I'm a member of Scouts South Africa and a regional young representative for my province. Here's just a brief outline of what to expect from today. So we're going to be covering specific SDGs that the Africa region is tackling at the moment. Before we begin, I'd just like to get an idea of what you all think the word sustainability means to you. So Gashpa is going to be sharing a Slido, and then if you could all fill that out, and I'd just like to get an idea of what the word sustainability means to you. Okay, so the code has been, and the link has been posted in the chat. So if you'll take a few minutes just to fill that out. Replenishing, that's a great word. I like that word. Preserve the current, I think that's supposed to be climate, posterity, ecological balance. Long lasting, preservation. Okay. Progress, yeah, sustainability is progress. Ecological balance. Good use of resources, okay. Long term. I see we've got a few more people typing. I'll just let the final answers come through. Balance, yeah. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, most of the answers are on the right track. I like the word long lasting and long term. That's a really good answer because in terms of sustainability, it's all about meeting our current needs at the moment while making sure that we preserve those resources for future generations. So that's where the long lasting, preserving the climate, long term, and ecological balance all come into play. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate all your answers. Okay, thanks, Gashpa. If I can just share let me share my screen again. Okay, all right. So we'll now move on to the first point, which is I'm going to briefly explain what the Africa Scout region is for those who are not aware of what the Africa Scout region is. So the Africa Scout region contains 40 member organizations, so National Scout organizations or National Scout associations, and has the potential for 7 more members within the region. We have 4.5 million Scouts across the region and 620,000 adult volunteers. Approximately 1.32% of the youth on the continent are registered as Scouts. The Africa Scout region stretches all the way from South Africa to Ethiopia and then across to Senegal. So it's everything in sub-Saharan Africa. The headquarters for the region are located in Nairobi, Kenya, at the Rwellan National Scout Campsite. So what are we as the Africa region doing to improve the environment and contribute towards sustainability? We're going to start our journey off with SDG number 7, which is for affordable and clean energy. The project I'm going to share for this SDG takes place in Zimbabwe. Maneno School is an ICT school in rural Zimbabwe, which offers lectures to students, but without electricity. The nearest laptop charging station is 10 kilometers away. With only 2 laptops at the school, it would take months for the whole school to have a practical computer session on a working machine. This was the same with charging cell phones, printing schoolwork, lighting for night exams, etc. A simple solar project was run by the Zimbabwean Scouts to meet the needs and help both the students and the staff. The Scouts engaged with the school administration and the community leaders. This encouraged the participation from the community. The Scouts worked with a team of locally trained solar inventors, experts, and solar ambassadors who assisted in the solar PV installation and solar awareness activities. On the day of the activities, after the system installation, 600 students and parents were taught about solar energy and its uses. The hope was that these students and parents would share what they learned in order to reach even more people. These actions have a profound impact across Africa. Rural and marginalized communities are facing challenges that need real sound solutions. In exposing them to viable solutions, Scouts are opening up opportunities for many citizens. And there's just some more photos from the project. The next SDG we're going to cover is SDG 13, which is climate action. This project takes place in Madagascar, and it's more of a high-level project rather than an on-the-ground action. This project was aimed at inspiring others to take action. In 2018, the Madagascan Scout Federation organized a training camp for Messengers of Peace ambassadors. They successfully trained up 33 new Messenger of Peace ambassadors. These ambassadors were required to go and run projects of their own, which resulted in the total number of service hours linked to this project nearing 4,000. The objectives of the program was to train and inspire young Messengers of Peace ambassadors through directed actions. These actions were transformed into peace building and community action projects. Some of the themes touched on during this workshop included specific focus on the Scouts for SDGs program, the Messengers of Peace program, social impact, diversity and inclusion, just to name a few. The next SDG we're going to be covering is SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production. This project took place in Kenya. Andrew Kamati is a rover in Kenya who started a project in his community called the All Year Green Garden, which is an agricultural project that entails development of an organic garden in a suburban space. The garden was designed to yield African indigenous vegetables, which included amaranth, spider plant, kales, peregrine pepper, as well as other vegetables such as spring onions, spinach, coriander, just to name a few. The project was started to ensure sustainable food production systems and implement resilient agricultural practices, to promote food security and improve nutrition, and to conserve, protect, and sustainably use terrestrial ecosystems. This is an example of the Food for Life program, which is run throughout the Africa region. The Food for Life program is a tool that is used throughout the Africa region to solve food shortage issues and teach scouts sustainable ways to grow food, using various gardening techniques they can use at home. Many of the member National Scout organizations or National Scout associations in the Africa region are running this program in some form. This program is important because it also highlights the importance of responsible consumption and not to waste food. The next SDG we're going to be covering is SDG number 15, which is life on land. This project took place in Togo, which is in Western Africa. "38 scouts from Togo participated in the 45th edition of the National Tree Day. After preparing the land, the scouts of the Scout Association of Togo helped plant nearly 150 trees on June 1st at the Gulf 5 Town Hall. The project leader had this to say: "This action by the scouts is part of the ideals of scouting as environmental protection and also represents their participation in the achievement of the SDGs to ensure sustainable environments in the world." The scouts are also committed to maintaining these young plants and thus taking part in the fight against global warming. This activity of the scouts is part of the collaboration with the town hall on its project Green Town, a house, a tree, and associates them with the achievement of the government's initiative to plant 300,000 plants by September. And the last SDG, and probably one that has been implemented the most across Africa, is the SDG 14, which is life below water. The project example I took for this SDG was from my own country, South Africa, where during the COVID-19 pandemic in February 2021, South Africa was still in the height of strict lockdown regulations. And due to these regulations, scouts across the country were not able to attend the Founders' Day activities that are traditionally held around the 22nd of February. As a result, scouts across South Africa participated in a nationwide project called the Better World for BP project, which tied into the Plastic Tide Turners Challenge, which is part of the Earth Tribe initiative. The Better World for BP project encouraged scouts to clean up their local river, waterway, lake, dam, or beach. Over this project weekend, 1,379 youth members participated in the Better World for BP program. And over the course of the 2021 calendar year, 2,241 youth members completed their Plastic Tide Turners Challenge. I'd like to now play a video supplied by Scouts South Africa, which highlights the Better World for BP program. Okay. So the Tide Turners Challenge is a project which is being run across the Africa Scout region. And the project is run in partnership with the United Nations Environmental Program, or UNEP. The program has seen great success across our region. And here's another video from the Africa Scout region, which shows the Tide Turners program in action.
Most of our programs actually focus on how do we better the environment. Scouts are exposed to innovations that they didn't know before. When you're talking about plastic recycling, plastics reuse.
The Plastic Tide Turners has helped me become aware of the various ways through which plastic pollutes the environment. In curbing plastic pollution, it involves the 3 R's, that is reusing, recycling, and reducing. It's hard to reduce the use of plastic, but it's very easy to recycle and to reuse. The Plastic Tide Turners was able to help me impact on the environment of the school and the neighborhood at large, because we were able to undertake a public awareness campaign on plastic pollution and on the measures on how to prevent plastic pollution. Also, as the Junior Achievement Club, we took up several cleanups in the school and in the neighborhood, where we collected plastics and called a recycling company who were able to take the bottles. In reusing the plastics, we can make creative pieces of art from plastic materials like plastic straws, plastic papers, plastic bottles.
And these are things that now the Scouts are more aware, and they are keener to continue promoting a culture of making sure that the environment is clean, that they are able to recycle and reuse from a very basic level to a very executive level.
So I'm an optimist. Why? Because I see young people in the street, young people engaging and fighting for a cleaner environment. And here at UNEP, we're particularly pleased with Tide Turners, working with the youth movement to turn around pollution. This badge, which is now available, is made entirely from recycled materials. So earn this badge and engage communities, engage with schools, set up training programs, and learn how you can influence policy for better and safer environment. That's it. That's what we need to do. Turn the tide. All hands on deck.
Okay, so those are just some of the many projects that are taking place across the Africa Scout region. And unfortunately, I don't have time to share all of the projects because we would be here a while. But in the meantime, maybe you could share in the chat, just share what projects you are running either in your country, your region, or in your local community. I'd love to hear, I'd love to see what you are doing, and I think it would be great if we all share and we could collaborate and just share ideas on what we can do. So please feel free to type in the chat what you're doing. Okay, I see there from Kim Joshua, plastic bottles recycled to pot plants. That's a really good idea. Yeah. So that's another example of reusing the plastic, rather than throwing it away or using energy to recycle it, we can use it for other uses. Beach cleaning and plantation drive. Yes, that's fantastic. Beach cleaning, often the plastic will wash up on the beaches, and then, yeah, it needs to be cleaned up. And then a plantation drive as well ties in with SDG 15 and SDG 13. Okay, Raphael from the USA, they have a program, Sweep the Creek. School students clean up local parks and waterways every 60 days. That's fantastic. And the fact that you redo it every 60 days sort of ensures the longevity. Many projects, what can happen is you start a project, you finish it, and that's it. So I love the fact that that you guys have sustainability or longevity within the project. That's fantastic. Peter says, integrate SDGs into school lessons. Yes, that's a really big thing. So as I'm sure most of you are aware, Scouting is really big on non-formal education, and ensuring that SDGs are taught through both non-formal and formal education is really important. If young students and youth are aware of SDGs, they might be more inclined to partake in SDG related activities. So that's fantastic. Kiara says, making climate education available in my local university. Yes, that's a really big one. Again, tying back to the education part. I know many universities in South Africa are moving towards that idea of making sure that sustainability is taught throughout every degree. So that's really important. And then Isaac says, litter picking. Yes, of course, every little bit helps. And even if it's picking up, on the side of the road, because eventually those plastics wash into the rivers and then into the sea, and they get everywhere. So picking up litter anywhere is really good. And then Kim says, again, we promote clean and green garbage segregation. Yes, so in terms of separating what can be recycled, what cannot be recycled, that's really important as well. So well done for that. Thank you everyone for all of your messages. That's really, really great to see so many projects, not just in Africa, but around the world. And I know I'm inspired, so I hope that inspires all of you. So thank you so much for that. Oh, I see we've had one more. Yeah, okay. And then, are there any questions regarding this? Any questions regarding the Africa Scout region or any of the projects that took place? You can ask them in the Q&A chat. And then Gashpa will share the link for you to achieve your badge. So well done. And I hope you will all continue to earn your eco badge and enjoy the rest of KISC JOTI.